I'm Morgan and welcome to the Improv Kitchen, where I show you how to take a recipe, improvise it, and make it your own. Today I'm going to show you how to make molten chocolate cakes, my personal favorite. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Baking, it's a precise science. How do you improvise that? How can you change it up? Well, I'm going to tell you, but first let's talk about our main ingredient, my favorite ingredient, chocolate. So for me, I like a 60% dark chocolate or higher. And for this recipe, I like to use a combination of chocolate. So here I've used a 2-to-1 ratio of 60% dark chocolate to semi-sweet chocolate. Now, this is the first place where you can kind of take it and make it your own. If you have a sweet tooth, use milk chocolate or semi-sweet chocolate chips. And if you really like dark chocolate and you're a purist, use all dark chocolate. Play with the combinations and see, what you like best with the chocolate. So, the first things we need to do is take our chocolate and put it into a double boiler. Now, I turn my stove on to medium heat and I let it sit for a minute. It's going to take a little while for the water to warm up, and in the meantime, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to beat my eggs with my sugar. So our egg and sugar mixture is exactly where we want it. You'll notice that the mixture has lightened significantly and it's doubled in volume. The kitchen is starting to smell like melted chocolate goodness, and I am in heaven. It actually smells like Chicago for about 1 week out of the month. When I first moved here, I thought I was going crazy with my chocolate cravings. Like, I was smelling it everywhere I walked. And then I learned that there's actually a chocolate factory in South Chicago, and 1 week out of the month when they're roasting their beans, they make the entire city smell like chocolate goodness. So that is what it's smelling like in my kitchen right now. And once this chocolate is melted, we're going to add butter and then a little bit of vanilla extract. Now, that's where you can improvise number 2 on this recipe. So if you really love orange and chocolate together, put a little bit of Grand Marnier instead of the vanilla extract. Or if you love raspberry or almond or caramel, you can use those flavored extracts and incorporate a completely different flavor and get a different dish out of, one simple ingredient switch. Now it's butter time. The chocolate is melted, and I'm just going to add all my cubes of cold butter into the mixture. This is one of my favorite parts because it takes chocolate and takes it up another notch, making it shiny and glossy and even better than it was in its pure form. So my chocolate and butter mixture is all melted, and we're really happy in this bowl right now, but it's about to get even better. I'm going to add the vanilla, which is the final step in the chocolate mixture. And you want to add about a teaspoon here, and this is where we talked about incorporating other flavors, so substitute away if you want to. Now I have a little trick. Because our chocolate mixture is kind of warm, we don't want to scramble the eggs. So what you do is you slowly pour the chocolate mixture in to temper it. That way you end up with a nice, smooth chocolate cake and not scrambled eggs, because that's not tasty. So what I do before I mix is I just slowly pour into the bowl. The final step is adding in our flour, and you want to make sure not to overbeat at this point. Okay, the final step before we can put our batter into our ramekins and into the oven, we've got to butter our ramekins. So I put a little bit of butter on a paper towel so I don't have to get my hands greasy. And you just rub it on the inside and make sure you get every little crack and crevice covered. I love making chocolate molten cakes because it reminds me of my sisters. One of our favorite restaurants in Seattle has the most amazing chocolate Valrhona cake. And every time we go, we each order our own because when it comes to chocolate, there's no sharing. So every time I make this, I think of them, and it just puts a little extra smile on my face because chocolate, family, nothing gets better than that. Alright, so I'm just filling up 2 ramekins tonight because the best thing about this batter is that you can actually store it in the fridge or freeze it and it comes out perfectly. So I've got my 2 ramekins all ready for the oven, and in 15 minutes we'll be in chocolate heaven. Now it's time for the best part. They were in the oven for 15 minutes at 350, and now I get to eat them. Some people serve it with sauces, some people serve it with ice cream on top. I want my chocolate and I want it now. You can also take a knife, scrape it around the edge, flip it upside down, and put it on a plate if you're trying to impress people. But right now, I gotta get into this chocolate. Oh yeah. This is the best. I hope you make the cake, and I hope you love the way it tastes. Until next time, you can get all these recipes at theimprovkitchen.blogspot.com.